Welcome back to Rock Your Best Vocals. Jim here. Today we're going to talk about how to strengthen your mixed voice. And a lot of people go about this the wrong way, right? They try to kind of bring the chest voice into the head register to kind of make it powerful that way. So what I've found over all my years as a professional singer, over 30 years, and professional vocal coach over 20 years, is that the best way to strengthen your mixed voice is to strengthen your head voice and bring that down. The reason being is because you want that head voice quality all the way down to your lower register, because the head voice quality comes from the CT muscle, which lengthens the vocal folds, right? Front to back. So if these are your vocal folds and they go front to back, when you sing a higher note, your vocal folds lengthen this way. So they stretch out. And when you sing a higher note, they come together a lot easier. So if we start with a higher note, it's easier to try to take that coordination down into the lower voice. So all I was doing there was bringing my head voice, the feeling of the head voice, all the way down to what would be the chest voice. So the trick to a strong mixed voice is having the coordination of the head voice, but bringing up some chest resonance into that. And I'll get into that a little bit later, how we do that. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to start with something that's in kind of the range of where most male break is. And it's, kind of around D4, E4, F4, somewhere in there. So in order to strengthen our head voice today, we're going to be working with the song Don't Stop Believing. We're going to listen to the isolated vocals, and I'm going to play the notes on the piano as well, just so we can kind of tell where they're at. This really sits in my break range, which is kind of like, anywhere from, say, E4 to D4 to F4, somewhere in there. But this bounces really heavily on E4, F sharp 4, G sharp 4, and B4. So it kind of goes, all around that range. So it's quite a difficult song for me to sing because it's in that range. And you might listen to this and you go, okay, this is very easy to sing in falsetto or head voice, but that's the key to it. We take that falsetto head voice and then we build power into it. So we do want to start with that head voice mechanism. We want to be able to feel that. And then what we'll do is we'll bring the chest resonance into that. We're not pulling chest. That's not what we're doing here. Pulling chest is when you start off with chest voice and you're trying to just get higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And you're using the TA muscles to try and drive that sound. It's just not going to happen. You'll see that you'll reach a ceiling and it's just too difficult. That's why we need to strengthen the head voice down to you, where you have that head voice quality all the way down through to your lower range. It's all about working with that coordination of the CT muscle. Just like that. That's how I'm working with that CT muscle to stretch the vocal folds, to lengthen them so it's nice and bright, and to just bring that sound all the way down. But let's get into this. We're just going to go through a little bit, maybe up to the first chorus, and we'll play the notes and we'll try to build that chest voice into the head voice to strengthen it up, and that's how we get a powerful mixed voice.
Just a small town girl.
It's very easy to sing it like, oh, just a small town girl, just a small town girl. Sounds very weak though, right? He's not singing quite that weak.
Living in a lonely world.
So you can hear he's starting off with there's a little bit of compression in there. And it's hard to do that when you're singing just in falsetto. Living in a lonely world. You hear how there's not much power built into that. But if we take those notes, we try to work with that sound, just this.
Living in a lonely world.
Living in a lonely world. Try to make it a little bit more legit. There's some stuff going on that I'm doing with my support, but I get into that a little bit later, what's happening with that, because that's how we're bringing the chest voice into the head voice. But we want to keep it light up here. Living in a lonely world. Living in a lonely world. Part of the thing that happens when we transition from that head voice, we often collapse the back of our mouth and that whole pharyngeal space in the back. So if I, just an example, if I went, living in a lonely world, I kind of collapse back there I'm trying to push up to get that full chest, that full voice sound. But what happens is, because I'm pushing, my body wants to then collapse that down as if I'm kind of yelling. You know, when you go to yell, you're like that, and everything collapses down. We want to try to keep in this really relaxed position of living in a lonely world, living in a lonely world,
Living in a lonely world.
The other thing that you can hear is that it's all legato. He's leaning the breath against the vocal folds. Living in a lonely world. He's not stopping. So that's a really good practice for the voice to lean against the vocal folds. It's just kind of, they talk about this in classical, the down bow of like the violin or something. It's all down. All one breath. It's all on the breath. Living in a lonely world. So you can practice this by just going, to get that feeling of really easy, light, all one note. That's another thing with mixed voice, that when you're working with the head voice, living in a lonely world, it's very easy to sing like that. But once you start moving into putting some chest resonance into that, you're going to have to lean a little bit more into it. And that's using your support. If you don't know about using your support correctly, I have a link down below for singing support secrets. Go and take that. And that will teach you everything that you need to know about how to properly use your support when singing.
She took the midnight train going anywhere.
And you listen to how bright his voice is. But if I sang that in falsetto, she took the midnight train going anywhere. There's no power in that. It's lightish mix still in here, right? But it's still got power in it. More power than if I was just to sing that in falsetto. She took the midnight train going anywhere. If I'm to build a little power into that. A couple of other key things that we have to do with that is when we sing in falsetto, it's really loose and open. She took the midnight train going anywhere. We're not closing down. We're not trying to strain. So it's very easy to sing in falsetto. She took the midnight train going anywhere. But we have to try and maintain that relaxed feeling as we sing into the full voice, or more full voice in that. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Maybe able to lean a little bit more to that, and that's where we bring this chest resonance into it. Oh, and anywhere. Oh, and anywhere. It's not about forcing, right? There's too many people talking about doing things like to like get that power, but that's pushing, right? We don't want that. We want this from a really light feeling of, like, if we're up here and we're talking like this in our head voice falsetto, she took the midnight train going anywhere. That's how we kind of build that power up into our head voice. And then we can bring that same feeling down into our chest voice. And it's still that head voice mechanism that's down in our lower range. You see how I try to keep that brightness all the way down into my lower range. So if we were to take B4, so a couple of things are important when we start to try to lift the chest resonance into this. We're going to be pushing a bit more. So if you were to kind of feel like this, that's the feeling that we're going to be getting in here, but not here. We don't want this feeling there. That's too much subglottal pressure. That's pressure below the vocal folds, and it won't allow the vocal folds to buzz properly. kind of like an upward feeling up against the diaphragm. If you keep your ribs out to the side, your diaphragm will remain flat. And then in order to get any air to come out, your stomach muscles will have to come up against the diaphragm in order to make some air come out. Kind of like you're sucking your stomach in, like, you're at the beach or whatever, and you want to like look cool. You got your stomach sucked in. So work with this really slowly on that B4. Start to kind of feel a little bit like you're key to growing power in a mixed voice is getting your abdominals involved. But it's not pushing, it's not shoving, like it's not an immediate, it's more kind of like the squeezing of a bagpipe. You're just kind of slowly kind of pressing the air up against the vocal folds. Oh! If this is all new to you, building the power into your mixed voice, you want to start slowly with this, because if you push it too hard, too fast, what's likely to happen is that your TA muscles, like your speaking muscles, will get involved and they'll clamp everything down. And you will lose that lightness and that brightness that's in the head voice. And that's what we need to keep through this, while adding some abdominal pressure and upward pressure against our flattened diaphragm. If our ribs are out, our diaphragm is flat. Oh! Keep it nice and light. Keep that slow. If you start to feel everything closing down, back off of it. Start over. Just keep this kind of feeling, like a gasp feeling. Oh! Oh! You'll start to get that as you start. Oh! Just work with it slowly. Just like it. That's the key thing. It's like if you go too fast, you're just going to make it worse. So this is something that will take a little bit of practice, but anybody can do. It's just getting the coordination down. But the main key is strengthening the head voice. Up here, feeling that up there. This kind of range up in here, and then just bringing that down all the way down to where your normal voice is. That same coordination, just bring that down. And that's really how you can start to gradually lift some of that chest resonance into that head voice, because you'll be more comfortable. Your head voice is going to be stronger. Get yourself either a piano app or something like that on your phone. Work with that range that's above your break and just build the strength into that. You will eventually feel like it's all just one register. You won't feel like you have a break in between chest voice and head voice, because you're using that CT mechanism. You're using the head voice mechanism all the way down into your chest voice. It makes singing so much lighter and easier and more pleasant to listen to. So if you found this helpful, please hit like and subscribe, and you can join me on Patreon down below or become a channel member for exclusive content. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching Rock Your Best Vocals, where your best keeps getting better.